Please do sit down. My Lord Lieutenant, Your Worship, the Mayor of Sefton, Master of the Merchant Taylors' Company, head teachers, pupils, parents, staff of the school, old boys and girls, guests and friends of the school, fellow governors, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Governors, I would like to welcome you all to our 2017 Speech Day and Prize Giving Ceremony. My name is David Evans and I'm the Vice Chair of the Board of Governors. For those of you expecting to be addressed at this point by our Chair, Beverly Bell, I'm sorry to report that she is unwell and confined to bed with a nasty bug. We send her our best wishes for a speedy recovery. In the meantime, as Vice Chair, it falls to me to deputise for her today. No pressure there then. I'd like to start by welcoming our special guests. We are delighted and honoured to have with us today Mr. Mark Blundell, who was appointed Lord Lieutenant of Merseyside in September this year. While our school traces its origins back to the year 1620, with our 400th anniversary coming up in 2020, Mr. Blundell's family history rather puts us in the shade, tracing its history in the Crosby area to at least the 13th century. At the time when our school was being founded, his ancestors were reportedly engaged in pitched battles with the High Sheriff's men over religious fines. Nowadays, pitched battles on Mr. Blundell's land are largely confined to our rugby matches at Hall Road. We're also very pleased to welcome to today's ceremony the Mayor of Sefton. We very much appreciate your support. In addition, we're delighted to welcome back to the school the Master of the Merchant Taylors' Company, Mr. Peter McGill, and his wife Pam. Peter served with distinction as the governor of our school for many years before taking up his position as Master of the Company this year. We're very proud of our links with the company, and Peter has been very much involved in strengthening those links. The subject of links to the company brings me to our guest speaker today, Mr. Nick Hewer, who needs little introduction, being instantly recognisable as a result of his time with Lord Sugar on The Apprentice. You will find some biographical information about Nick inside your programmes, but perhaps the most interesting piece of information for today's purposes is that, as I believe Nick will confirm in his speech, he also has a strong personal and historical connection to the Merchant Taylors' Company. Nick, we are very grateful to you for agreeing to hand out our prizes today and to give the benefit of your advice to our students. You are most welcome. The past year has been busier than ever for the school and the governing body. In July, we said goodbye to our head, David Cook, who after nearly 12 years with us moved to Repton School in Dubai. We have been fortunate in having a strong senior management team, including Daniel Williams, who very kindly took over as acting head while we recruited a permanent replacement. I can report that we have gone through a rigorous recruitment process, and our new head will take up his post in September. I anticipate that a formal announcement will be made in the next week or two. In the meantime, I would like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to Daniel. Without wishing to embarrass him, he personifies the merchant tailor's ideal of always wanting to do the best for our pupils. His dedication to the school, his professionalism, and his unstinting support for colleagues, pupils, parents, and the whole of the school community have been exemplary and continue to be invaluable to us. The governing body owes him a real debt of gratitude. On the subject of new please, let's give Daniel a round of applause. On the subject of new recruits, we also welcome to her first boys' school speech day Mrs. Lynn Hill, our new Director of Finance and Operations, who has joined our executive team from Liverpool John Moores University. We have with us, in addition today, the head of the Girls' Senior School, Mrs. Louise Robinson, who retires in March after 11 years with us. On behalf of the board, I would like to take this opportunity to thank her for her support during that time and for leading the girls' school with such distinction. We wish her and her husband Eddie a very happy retirement, and we have a small token of appreciation to hand over to her in recognition of what she's done for the school. There have been some changes in the governing body to report. Replacing Peter McGill as our governor nominated by the Merchant Taylors Company, we welcome today Charles Cowling, who is our Merchant Taylors Company representative, who will continue to reinforce our links with the company. We also welcome to the board Anna Gervasoni, who is the current president of the Old Girls Association, and John Cartwright, who is the Director of Computing Services at the University of Liverpool, and whose expertise will be invaluable to us. During the year, we have continued to invest in improvements to school facilities and equipment. Pupil numbers at both the senior and junior schools are healthy, with record numbers this year in our junior school, for which congratulations are due to Mrs. Janet Thomas and her team. We are developing a whole school master plan as a board of governors for our current and future buildings. And as part of that process, we are considering how best to improve and expand the facilities in our boys' junior school, which is an important part of our school. Were Beverly addressing you today, she would be doing so as an old girl and a chair of governors who is utterly dedicated to ensuring the best possible future for our schools. I still half expect those doors to swing open at the back and a stretcher to be wheeled in with Beverly waving her fist at me. I would like to take this opportunity, while she's not looking, to pay tribute to her continuing tireless efforts on behalf of the schools. For myself, as an old boy, married to an old girl, and a parent of both a boy and a girl who went through the schools, I would like to say that I have never forgotten how much I owe this school since I attended my first speech day 49 years ago. The schools gave all of us a first-class education. In my case, this enabled me to go to Oxford to read law when I'd never really thought that that could happen. And the teaching I received at school gave me the opportunity to have an absorbing and rewarding career. The desire to ensure that our pupils have these sorts of opportunities is what drives all of us as governors to work as hard as we can for the continued success of the schools. None of that success would happen without the support, commitment, and sometimes sacrifices of our parents, grandparents, and relatives. I want to thank all of you and to thank our Parents Association for their support. I'd also like, on behalf of the school community, to thank our Old Boys Association, a number of whose council members, including President Jeremy Myers, are with us here today. The continuing and generous support of our alumni is one of the great strengths of our school. I would be remiss if I did not thank our fellow governors, all of whom are volunteers and who willingly give a huge amount of time to discharging their duties as governors and trustees. I have left, perhaps, well, definitely, the most important thanks until last. At the end of today's ceremony, we will sing the school song. The second verse, which after 49 years of speech days is engraved on my memory, includes the following lines. We owe thee lessons taught to foster manhood true, to send us forth prepared to wait and dare and do. We owe thee lessons taught. For all that the rest of us do, the success of the schools ultimately depends on the hard work and dedication of those who deliver those lessons and help to deliver those lessons, namely all of our teaching and support staff. They are the ones who we rightly trust and rely on, both in the academic excellence, which is our hallmark, and in the many sporting and other extracurricular activities which could not take place without their commitment and enthusiasm, outside working hours, in the evenings and at weekends. It is because of their efforts and commitment that our schools can and do deliver not just great results, but also rounded individuals fit to face the world in the 21st century. Our staff are the ones who enable our pupils to be the best that they can be. And I want to end by saying a big thank you on behalf of the board and the school to each and every one, and I'd ask everybody to give the staff a round of applause.